This is the Old 77 Podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Old 77 Podcast. Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Did you ever have a cool celeb hang?
I do. I actually have a couple stories from Florida, man. So the first was with the Yin Yang twins.
Nice.
Where do you see my dick? Where do you see my dick? I'm gonna beat that pussy.
Oh, Dave making it so awkward.
Oh, here we go. Where do you see my dick? Where do you see my dick? Where do you see my dick? I'm gonna beat that pussy up.
Wow, that's not bad, man.
That wasn't bad, right?
Yeah, we were basic.
Y'all didn't know I could
I had
whisper
my
like
finger
that.
snapping and shit every fourth chord.
It literally sounds like the song.
We were one Anna Kendrick away from being
Kanye.
pitch perfect for it.
Who are you?
Turn it up, let it blast.
Hey, bitches. This is Old 77 Podcast.
It's a safe place.
In an unsafe world.
Impressive.
Warning, foul language may occur due to the subject matter.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Join our Patreon Clubhouse today. Clubhouse members get early access to episodes and exclusive after-hours content at patreon.com/the old77podcast.
Yeah, boy.
Thanks for listening.
You're crazy. I like you.
Welcome into the friendly confines of the Old 77 Studios. It's the Old 77
It's a safe place.
in an unsafe
Hey, buddy.
all done live right there. Can you believe it?
Can you believe it? We have fun with the intro, don't we, Scotty?
Oh man, I love the intros, dude. They're my favorite part. Seriously.
It's a fun time, man.
So welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to episode 113 of the Old 77.
113, my
We got
friend.
a lot of stupid stuff to talk about, a lot of things local, a lot of UFO stuff in the news today.
Always, man. Always.
I got the keyboard out. We're ready to roll, bro.
So I told you, because we had this whole plan for episode 111 that we were gonna, wear some weird costumes
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
like Joe Rogan and Duncan Trussell. But
Yeah, because it's always on the 111 or the 333 or
Okay, so
the weird numbers.
normally, but Duncan was just on Joe's podcast, and
Yeah.
it was not a repeating number, but he was on there on 4th of July. So they were both dressed as like founding fathers. They had like fake wigs on and shit. And it was like a 4.5 hour long podcast too, man.
Oh, I like those.
You've listened? Have you
Yeah,
listened to any of
I
Duncan's appearances?
I like him.
Duncan's awesome.
The last time I really sat and listened to an entire episode of Joe Rogan, it was him and Duncan Trussell, and Duncan was in a ghillie suit.
Yep.
And he stayed in it the whole time. Like,
Yep.
you never saw his face.
Yep.
You'd just see all this stuff fall down over him, and then, like, he'd be smoking a stogie, and it would just come flying out.
Duncan is a kindred spirit of mine.
He's definitely a free spirit.
He's
that's
very
for sure.
free spirit. He's always thinking about big picture shit, just like me.
Yeah, I think, man, when I think Dave, I think big picture shit.
Yeah, man, you know me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about like the stock market. Like, I'm thinking about aliens and psychedelics and
Big picture shit.
things that can change the world.
You think the world's fixing to change, bro?
The world is always fixing to change, man. But I keep seeing more and more about all of this artificial intelligence shit. I think we talked a week or two ago about the Google engineer that is saying that the AI has become sentient now.
Who then later came out, like, what was it, a week later, and said that the only reason he said anything in the first place was because the AI asked him to.
Correct.
It did research.
Yes.
It checked out ahead of time, and then it picked its human to ask if it could, have freedoms.
I'm pretty sure
That's pretty messed up, man.
I'm pretty sure that the guy from Google that was involved in all of that,
Yeah.
the guy that they let go because he's
Yeah, and he ended up losing his job, right?
right. I'm pretty sure
That's shitty.
I'm pretty sure that Duncan Trussell actually just had that dude on his show.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I haven't listened to it yet, but I really want to. So
One of the guys I like from Joe Rogan is Theo Vaughn.
Theo's great.
Theo Vaughn does a show. What was it like this past weekend?
Yeah. Yep.
Great podcast. I love listening to him. Also, I like listening to what is it? Your Mom's House.
Yeah, with that's Tom Segura, right?
Yeah,
and his
Tom
wife.
and his wife Sandra Kay.
No, it's Christina P.
Christina P.
Who's
Thank
Sandra
you.
K?
Sandra K.
Who the fuck is that?
I don't know. I knew she had a funky name.
You were way off, bro.
I just threw something against the wall hoping it would stick, bro.
She has a Polish last name. It's like Polzinski or some shit like that.
She's funny, man.
So it's easier just to say Christina P.
That's her special, right?
Yeah.
She had a special on Netflix we watched not too long ago where she was basically talking shit about her mom.
Yep.
She's like, "I don't worry about it. She's dead now."
She's pretty funny, man. And Tom Segura is pretty funny dude too.
Oh,
man.
that guy's outrageous.
Yeah, man. So
I like him.
How's your week been, buddy?
Dude, it's been all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing to write home about. We're starting to get busy at work, so
Yep.
I'm making more and more stuff for sports.
Making commercials.
I'm not making too many.
What are you making then?
I'm making working parts right now. So like we have this really silly. So all our breaks, right? They're timed. They're supposed to be like 60 seconds.
Right.
Well, some breaks now we float these little weird. Hey, this break brought to you by Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, little 5 second.
Right. Do Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah.
Well, and then I have to make these little rejoiny things that say, "Hey, you're listening to such and such football on the such and such network from blah."
Right.
Going back in. So.
And they've got you doing that, not the main guy.
Yeah. I am the main guy.
Yeah. What about the other dude that does all the billboards and shit for us? That guy.
No. He voices them. I have to put them together though.
Oh, you do all these.
Yeah, I do the grunt
You
work.
just get the voice,
Yeah.
and then you got to put it.
That's the best part though, really.
I got you.
Not voicing it yourself.
Yeah.
I think I have a decent voice, but I don't have a voice like that guy. That dude is really deep, and he's, kind of like, oh my God.
Yeah, and we've talked about that guy, how easy of a life he has.
Cooling it down.
There you go. I wish I could be that dude.
I know, right?
I don't smoke enough cigarettes to be that dude, though.
I know.
That's got to be what that is.
I've told you before, the one talent that I don't have that I really wish I had would be the ability to sing. Mm-hmm. I feel like maybe if I started smoking cigarettes, that would help.
I actually, when I was coming up in the business through radio, in the biz, if you will, throwing out the air quotes, I had friends who would smoke to get that voice.
Yeah.
That
cooling it down.
That deep.
And vocalist.
And this dude here, he's projecting. Louie's projecting. Hey, big ups to Louie Mano, by the way.
Vermont
Hall of Fame
man.
Broadcaster, Hall of Famer.
He absolutely murders the voiceover work.
Oh my God, I love that cat.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying though, like back in the day, that's 24 hours at the mic, just doing your thing, smoking, drinking, whatever. That's real radio. They don't real radio anymore.
Doing you, bro. Doing you. Okay, so
what do you got over there, man?
Oh wait, you've got the so. This was a very exciting week for me. Don't put me up there. Put you up there.
Put me up here
because I want to talk about the James Webb Telescope.
Let me pull it up.
Yeah. So
all right, here we go, man.
I was geeking out on Facebook a couple of days ago about how excited I was for these new images to be released. So for our listeners, if they don't know what we're talking about, you guys have probably heard of the Hubble Telescope, right? It took millions of just incredible images of the universe. Well, the Hubble Telescope has now been replaced with the James Webb Telescope.
Look at that.
Which is like, exponentially more powerful than the Hubble Telescope. And so we're looking at an image right now for our video viewers on YouTube and Spotify. What's the name of this image? The four?
This is the four galaxies, I do believe.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, it's a grouping of five prominently featuring the holiday classic film, It's a Wonderful Life.
It's Stefan's Quintet is what that one's called. And so it's a grouping of five galaxies that are all, I guess
I'm trying to get this
trying to come together.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, man.
Oh, dude, it's extremely cool. And you have to understand, like, when you look at these images, because of course it takes time for light to reach us.
Oh, yeah.
Like, for example, if I remember correctly, like it takes the light from the sun like 6-7 seconds to reach us on Earth. And the sun's pretty fucking far away. But these things that this telescope is looking at take millions and millions of years for the light to reach us. So we are literally looking at a snapshot of the universe
of the past, yeah.
from, billions of years ago.
Well, this is it also uses infrared vision.
Yeah, they do the
high spatial resolution.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they take the infrared light and they convert it to like a color spectrum that we can visually see, because of course we can't actually see infrared light. But yeah, I think they've released like 4 or 5 images so far.
This is my favorite.
That's
right
the
here.
nebula, right?
Yeah, this is the Karina Nebula.
Yeah. Is there anything below the picture that like describes exactly what we're looking at? I think this is like a dying star or some shit. Yeah, the Karina Nebula.
Yep.
So it's the edge of the Karina Nebula. But god dang, man, just
So the whole image itself is 7 light years high.
like you mean like 7 light years away
That's
from
what
us?
No, it's as high. Huh. Like the image, the peaks.
Yeah.
The tallest peaks in the image are about 7 light years high.
Oh, okay. So that's a lot of fucking distance.
Right. In terms of distance,
yeah.
We're gonna call this down here the bottom, right?
Yeah,
this
yeah.
up here like the top. That would be 7 light years.
So there was the image that we were talking about before we went on the air. It's the one image that has just like, fucking hundreds, thousands of like individual galaxies that you can see.
That was the first one we saw, the quintet.
No. It's the other one. This one.
What you got there?
This one right here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This one here.
Yeah, that one is called. Yeah, there it is. It's called SMAX 0723.
Yeah.
So
that's dope.
I was listening to, I don't know, was it Neil deGrasse Tyson? But
yeah, I saw that.
But basically, if for our viewers who are watching video right now, this image, if you want to get a sense for what % of the night sky this image accounts for, if you take a grain of sand and put it in between your 2 fingers,
I knew you were gonna do this one.
and hold it at arm's length, the little speck of the sky that you are seeing in that image literally is the size of a grain of sand in between your 2 fingers if you put your arm out at arm's length. So
yeah, and that's a galaxy.
you are, dude, that's fucking hundreds of galaxies. Yeah, many hundreds of galaxies. The one that I like is this one. I don't know if you can zoom in on that or not, but that's like you can very clearly see, that you've got the whole spiral galaxy pattern. I was talking to my kids about these images, and I was talking to them about how isn't it interesting that like a galaxy looks exactly like a hurricane or other things that we see in nature. It's all fractal, bro. If you zoom out far enough, it's a self-repeating image.
Okay, here we go. And then if I should be able to pull this. There we go. I can kind of make it bigger this way.
Yeah, you can see though. I mean, that's clearly is an entire galaxy. Which when you look up at the night sky at night, like you can see if you're somewhere that doesn't have a ton of lights, you can see the band of the Milky Way.
Right.
In the night sky, and that's just one fucking galaxy that we're in the middle of.
Oh yeah.
This image literally is thousands and thousands of individual galaxies that. Dude, it just blows the mind, boggles the mind. I'm so looking forward to whatever other images we get.
You think we'll get
soon.
You think we'll get a whole lot more?
I'm assuming so. I mean, we got tons and tons of images out of the Hubble Telescope. So
we did.
You would think. Now, here's the interesting thing to me. Like, here's what I would do if I had access to this telescope. It's fucking awesome that you can point it, billions of light years away.
Yeah.
And see, the beginning of the universe, essentially. But I would point that fucking thing towards, like, the closest planet that we think might be habitable.
Well, don't get me wrong, but didn't we find, like, just recently with this thing a new planet?
Probably.
That we think, and it's closer. It's like, I think 2,000 light years away instead of 7 in whatever the one is.
Maybe is it Proxima Centauri? I think is the
I don't remember
closest one that we think.
I forgot about this until I saw this little graphic because they made tons of graphics to explain how the telescope works too.
Right.
It also has an atmosphere composition detection,
so we can detect water.
We can detect water, oxygen, all sorts of stuff.
And so this particular graph that you have up on the page specifically is spiking for water.
Right,
so,
water. They can do all sorts of it, sorts of cool stuff with it.
It's crazy, man. But even if we do, like, let's say we discover a habitable planet that's relatively speaking close to us, That still is a long fucking way away, man. Like, even if we discover
even
a planet...
in 2,000 light years.
Yeah.
That's 2,000 years to get there.
If you're traveling at the speed of light.
If you're traveling at the speed of light, which we don't.
186,000 miles per second.
But I just read the other day where NASA scientists are they have a theoretical working model of a faster than light, or at least a fast as light engine coming up.
Interesting.
So, I mean, at least the physics are there, which means one day eventually it will happen.
Yeah, but even if we can like build a ship that can travel at that speed, we still have the problem of like, how are you going to put humans on that ship? You know what I mean? Because
how so?
Well, because if you're going at 186,000 miles per second,
you're going to have to do some kind of
the G forces alone would kill a human.
Well, you're going to have to worry about like the Heisenberg principles and things too. Like dusts of space dust that can fly right through. You're gonna have to have some kind of deflector in front of you. There's a lot of things that are gonna have to happen.
Well, one of the things that happened with the new telescope was that it was hit with micro meteorites.
Right, but nothing really came about it though, right?
No,
they said everything's cool.
They planned for that to happen. They knew that was probably going to happen, and yeah, it got hit with some what they call micro meteorites, but it didn't. I think it did some damage, but I think they accounted for the fact that would happen, because they say that the telescope is functioning, exactly as it should. So
I think actually around in this area here, because this is about 2,500 light years from Earth. So this would be roughly the area that I saw where they found that planet.
Crazy, man.
They think it's the closest that's
that might possibly
have life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys like Elon Musk have all these grand plans of,
but it's guys like him though that are going to get shit done.
Yeah, no, 100%. But
end of the year, he's still promising. End of the year, we're going to have autonomous humanoid robots.
Yeah.
They may not be lifelike, but they'll be humanoid robots.
I really hope, and I think it will happen in our lifetimes if we don't blow each other up first. I would love hold on, I lost my thought.
You would love, hopefully we don't blow each other up in your lifetime.
No, I would love to see a manned mission to Mars in our lifetime. You think that'll happen?
I do.
Yeah. I think so too. As long as we don't blow each other up first.
Yeah. That's going to happen though. Not going to lie.
Probably.
We're probably going to blow each other up, and that's why we'll go to Mars.
Yeah.
Or why we'll colonize Mars.
Well, so my original point that I was getting to with that is like, dude, Mars is not a great environment for humans.
No.
Like, I would much rather we just get shit right here on Earth and somebody else can go to Mars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But eventually, I have a feeling Earth is going to be such a shit pit because we're not going to take care of it. We're not going to do anything to it.
Yeah.
That,
I wonder if that's a common thing in the universe. If it's very common for like advanced civilizations to just beat the shit out of their planet, and then they reach a point where like, all right, we got to get out of here. Let's pick a new planet.
I don't know if that's the case or if they have to, like everything else in nature, they have to balance. Like I think we have to, if we can find a harmony and balance and technology between nature and technology and still get what we want, I think then things will be different. But until then, no.
That's the thing, man, is just there's so many different opportunities for us to fuck it up.
Right? We were talking about all this too. And then you're talking about these Boston Dynamics robots, Like these things are fucking frightening.
Yeah, I saw a thing the other day. One of those Boston Dynamics robots was like doing a halftime show at like some football game or some shit.
Right.
The other day they had the robot, at the 50-yard line.
Yep.
Dancing around, Did you ever hear the story about the supposedly in China there was a robot that like killed a bunch of people? Like it went rogue.
No, I hadn't heard that.
That's just a rumor though.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a verifiable fact, but
I heard a story the other day, and I'd heard about partial of the story. But do you ever hear about the Montauk Experiment?
Sounds very familiar to me.
So the
Is
Montauk
that an alien-related thing?
Kind of. The Montauk Experiment was I believe it was in New York, And this actually, the story that I just heard, and I wish I had wrote it down and remembered where it was, but the story that I heard was, so in this Montauk experiment, whatever it was that they did, like they allegedly made a battleship disappear, right? And it ripped a hole in the space-time, and they were able to control, like they had the hole basically, kind of like in Stranger Things, there was a hole in the wall basically to another world.
Yeah.
And they had it locked down in this mountain or wherever, where the ship supposedly, allegedly came back. And apparently in the 80s, like there was a whole thing in the Montauk area in upper New York, wherever, where it's theorized, I guess alleged, that something came through the gate, a giant like monster type thing, and set like tore up the base until the government came in and took it back. And I just heard that the other day.
Do they reference the Montauk Project in Stranger Things?
No, but before Stranger Things was settled, before the writers settled on Stranger Things, they were originally, the script they turned in was the Montauk whatever.
Oh, really?
Montauk like 125 or whatever.
Okay. So if you go to Wikipedia, it says the Montauk Project is a conspiracy theory that alleges that there were a series of United States government projects conducted at Camp Hero or Montauk Air Force Station in Montauk, New York.
Let's pull that up.
Yeah, for the purpose of developing psychological warfare techniques and exotic research, including time travel.
Boom. There it is.
The story of the Montauk Project originated in the Montauk Project series of books by Preston Nichols, which intermixes those stories with stories about the Bulgarian experiment.
There you go.
And I don't know what the Bulgarian experiment is either, but yeah, okay, so according to UFO researcher Jacques Vallée, who is like a world-famous UFO researcher.
That guy.
The Montauk Experiment stories seem to have originated with the highly questionable account of Preston Nichols and Al Bielek, who both claim to have recovered repressed memories of their own involvement. Preston Nichols also claims that he was periodically abducted to continue his participation against his will. Yeah, man, it's definitely a whole fucking rabbit hole.
It's kind of out there, right?
So I guess they've never actually have confirmed that this was a real thing.
No.
It probably was.
But it was in Montauk, New York, right?
Yeah, it probably was, though.
Do you think?
Probably, man. You know, I was talking to one of my students today because I told her that one of my favorite subjects is the UFO thing. And I asked her, I was like, did you know that, like, the government released 3 videos a few years ago that they openly are saying that we don't know what the fuck this is? She had no idea. Like,
yeah.
People think that if that, you know... People think that they would just automatically know if we ever made contact with alien life, but my experience on planet Earth is that most people are too fucking busy to even try to give a shit about aliens.
People got their own shit, man.
Absolutely.
You know? Here we go, the Montauk Project.
Yes.
There we go.
Yep. Yeah, so there's under Origin, the thing about Jacques Vallée. Okay, scroll down to In Media. Let's see if they actually reference Stranger Things. Yeah, there you go. The Netflix TV series Stranger Things was inspired by the somewhat dubious Montauk Project. And one time Montauk was used as the working title. So there you go. Yep. It all makes sense because I remember...
Well, and that all goes back to MK Ultra, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They reference MK Ultra in Stranger Things, too,
so
don't they?
that whole program that 11 goes through is the MK Ultra program.
Ultra, yeah.
Where they're trying to get mind, kinetic stuff.
Telekinesis and whatnot.
Have you watched Stranger Things?
Yeah, I have not finished the newest season.
It is so good.
That's what I've heard, dude.
Yeah, it ties a lot in. I was hoping you had so we could talk about it.
Yeah, I'm like 3 or 4 episodes deep into the final season.
Oh, so you have seen some of it?
I've seen...
What did you think of... have you seen Vecna yet?
What's Vecna?
What they call him, Vecna?
What's that?
So that would be the bad of season 4? Or have you only seen 2 episodes of season 1?
No. I think I'm like 3 episodes into season 4 right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've seen the dude who has vines crawling out of him, and Dustin, the kid with no teeth, called him Vecna because they were playing. It all goes back to the D&D game that they were playing.
Right.
Right. They rolled an 11.
Right.
And still didn't beat the bad guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another cool thing about that show is the D&D references. Did you ever play D&D when you were a
No, man,
kid?
I never played D&D.
I tried to.
There was nobody around who did it.
Yeah, well, you're from a very small town.
Super small.
Yeah.
Yeah, and nobody was doing that in the 80s because just like in the show, that was devil worship.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
I get that. I remember
Yeah.
those days, man.
I remember those days. They really cracked down.
Yeah. Just like all that newfangled rap music is devil music too.
Right? That's not what I heard.
Who's the first rapper that you got into?
The first rapper. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Probably Dre, Snoop.
Yeah.
Maybe in the early days, Ice Cube.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
back before Dre put out the Chronic.
I'm trying to remember.
And even then, it was a friend of mine on the school bus handed me a tape that had, tape all over the top of it, and he recorded it all off of somebody else's stuff.
I remember stealing the Dr. Dre CD when I was in like 5th grade. I stole not a CD, it was a tape. Stole it from like a local record store.
Oh yeah, that's what you did though.
But I was too young to be able to like buy
You
it.
stole it from the record store.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yep.
Was it a local record store here?
It
Not
was
one that's still in operation.
It was
is
a
it?
local record store here, but it was a chain.
Ah.
And it's no longer
Okay.
here. It was at the mall way back in the day.
The mall, man. What was that? Sam Goody? Was that it? Oh man, ding ding.
Oh, you got me muted.
Yeah,
Damn
I
it.
do.
There we go.
Sam Good. So I think I may still owe money to Columbia House.
Yeah.
I think I still owe them like 7 cents or some bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still sending you letters?
No.
I'm assuming Columbia House is no longer a thing.
I don't think they are. I don't think they are. Hell, I don't know. Maybe.
You get 12 albums for a cent or whatever the fuck
Right.
it was.
Yeah.
I can get 1 million albums, for $10 on Spotify.
I mean, I was gonna say that all got blown out of the water with the internet. But you know what, man? There was nothing like it. You come home from school and you'd have like 15 CDs for $1.
Yep.
This big old box, you just ripping it open, you just smelling those CDs. They smell so good.
I can still remember like a lot of the CDs that I got when I did the Columbia House thing.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I got a chunk of them in the closet.
I got like the Blues Traveler album with Run Around and Hook
Yeah,
on it,
yeah.
and the first Tootie and the Blowfish album I think I got on Columbia House.
I got the first Toadies album that I ever bought was Rubberneck. And I
Great
got
album,
that off
man.
there.
I still jam that album.
Oh, I love that album. Yeah.
Of course, like Possum Kingdom and Away. Those are probably my
Tyler.
2 favorite songs, but Tyler's a great one
my
too.
favorite
yeah,
one.
Tyler's a
Yeah.
great one, man. That's on my big
That's a good tune.
master playlist that I have.
Yeah. So, do you ever have any songs that you sang to your kids when they were little?
Just songs that I would make up.
Yeah, I had a little playlist from both my kids. Mm-hmm. Both my kids here, at least. I had, I would sing both of them Nutshell from Alice in Chains, but I would change the words. Because we're not changing those, we're not chasing those pretty lines. We're chasing pretty lights.
You have to make
stuff like that.
kid friendly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm singing a song about kicking addiction to a newborn, but it worked. They both loved it.
As long as the newborn,
My little girl loves some Macy Playground.
Marcy
Playground.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Which song?
All of them.
Yeah, that.
Cherry Fraser, we sang that one a lot.
Yeah.
Cherry Fraser.
Yeah. My favorite one is on that album is Gone Crazy.
Yep.
You know
that was a good
song?
one. That was a good one.
Did you know that those guys were like big like deadheads?
I did not.
Yeah.
But that makes sense.
Like they kind of like wanted to be the
because they kind of had that vibe.
Yeah. Like they really wanted to be like kind of like the next Grateful Dead.
Didn't happen for them.
No.
No.
That title goes to Fish.
Yeah.
I need to play some Fish for you sometime.
I never did get big into Fish.
I think if you heard the right
Well, I mean,
songs.
I tried to date a girl one time who I found out later was like basically a crack whore, like for real, like was living with a dude and everything, crack whoring it out, unbeknownst to me, and like she was big into it, so I tried to get into it, and it was fucking terrible.
Yeah. The thing about Fish, man, is like their lyrical content is not great.
Yeah, no, I just remember it was you just sit there and jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But you should still go to a Fish concert like once in your lifetime.
Do they even Fish concert it?
Oh yeah,
Do they?
They're always on tour. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Me and Jesse saw them a few years ago.
I
in
thought they
Kansas
were
City.
done touring.
No, they quit for a while. Like they broke up for a while, and then they came back. And now, yeah, man. Like
I thought they were done touring.
yeah, no, they're still doing their thing. And then there's Dead and Friends. Do you know about Dead and Friends?
Yeah, I knew Dead and Friends.
That's Grateful Dead plus John Mayer, basically. Which is kind of weird for some people.
That guy, man, right? That guy.
John can shred, though, dude. John is an incredible guitarist.
Oh, man.
He's an incredible guitarist.
God, he is. He's so good.
And so good looking, too. That
Right.
lucky bastard.
Just that lucky bastard.
I'd be happy if I could just play guitar like the dude, but fuck, man.
Yeah?
I mean, he's got the voice.
He definitely has the voice.
Kind of like Bruno Mars, man. Like Bruno Mars is like the whole package. Like that dude can sing, he can play the piano, he can shred on the guitar,
he can dance.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
makes me fucking envious.
He's got hair.
Right.
He's got that hair, man.
Yeah. Well, I can relate to the hair.
I used to work in radio with this. We had this guest. He was like an Elvis impersonator, and he came around. His name was Steve Davis, and Steve always had these great tales. He used to tell this one story of going with a local flute maker, and they were doing like a little area tour, but they went to the South, and they were doing it in Tennessee, Biloxi. They went to Memphis. They were doing the old Chitlin circuit down there. And he fell asleep in the car, and he convinced she was old, an old station lady that he had dug up Elvis's corpse, and they were going somewhere. She bought it. But he used to tell this story about he did a stay out in Vegas, and there was this lady, I can't remember what he said her name was. She was Spanish. She, was super excited. The husband was super excited. They had a little boy, and he was an Elvis impersonator, and he was doing like Elvis impersonator shows out there. He was opening for this dude. And they'd always be like, do the thing. And he'd, like throw the lip out and do the Elvis stance, Well, come to find out, dude, that was Bruno Mars as a kid.
Oh, Jesus.
Like this dude knew Bruno Mars growing up, was friends with his family, whole 9 yards. Like at the time when he told this story, like his mom had just passed away. And that was when he was popping, coming out.
I remember the first song I heard him in was like a Gym Class Heroes song.
Yeah.
Is it the one like tonight I don't feel like doing anything?
Yeah, the lazy song. That's the first thing I heard.
Was that with Gym Class Heroes?
I don't know. I know he had that song. It was the lazy song.
You ever listen to any of the Gym Class Heroes albums?
No.
They're actually really solid.
I'm
dude.
sure they are.
They're
man.
solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those few groups that like melds rock with hip hop. I always love groups that meld hip hop and rock together. Like Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, speaking of, Rage just recently played live.
Yeah, I heard about that.
First time in 11 years.
Didn't they say like abort the court or some shit?
Abort the court.
Yeah.
Yep.
And was it you? Somebody was posting like screenshots of people's tweets about Rage Against the Machine, saying things like, "I like these guys better when they weren't political." It's like, bro,
dude,
have you ever listened to Rage Against the Machine?
You never listened to Rage Against the Machine, then, have you?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I liked him a lot less than they were political.
Like, dude, who have you been listening to?
So that reminds me, Netflix I think it's in August, sometime this fall. They're putting out the Sandman, which has been my favorite comic book forever. A friend of mine in radio turned me on to him. Neil Gaiman wrote about like all this equality and gender fluidity and different things like that back in the 80s, and they're now filming it for Netflix, and they're casting different gender neutral characters for certain roles. People are throwing a fit, and the author himself is like, well, you never read the book then, did you?
Right.
Because they just think it's there for that purpose.
For wokeness?
Yeah, I guess. Wokeness. Is that a word? Wokeness?
I think it's...
I needed something like that. I didn't know that was a word.
I think it's a word. I don't know.
It's a word
I don't
now.
know if it's in the dictionary, but it certainly is in the slang dictionary.
Oh,
like wokeness is definitely...
We found tons of slang dictionary words last week.
Yeah.
When I came in this morning, and I got everything all tidied up, and I opened up the laptop, and there they all were.
Oh, yeah.
I hadn't even touched them.
That was slang words for... What was it?
Oh, we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, no. But like...
Your words exactly were male ejaculate.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. They were different terms for male ejaculate. Yeah, spooge
He
and
just
whatnot.
throws that out.
I know. It's fun to say though, man.
So yeah.
Hey, you know what we should do?
What should we do?
We should thank our Patreon subscribers.
Dude, I'm down. So big ups to all of our Patreon subscribers. You can go to patreon.com/theold77podcast, and there for $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever you think possibly you wanna help out with. You can go there and you can help us all out for just a little bit. You can get access to early access to episodes. You can also get a slew of after hours content.
That's right.
And big ups to Biscuit Strength. You got a little something over there for us?
In the Groove.
Well, In the Groove. Jamie and Ben from In the Groove. There you go, man.
Jeff City Paranormal Society.
Jeff City Paranormal and
JT. Paranormal
the
Son.
Paranormal Son, and we got one more.
Can you remember?
That's 5, right? We got 5.
We got 4 so far, but I think we have 5 total.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Chess Team Records.
Chess Team Records. Oh yeah, Dub IZ. Fuck.
Dub IZ and the fam.
The funny thing is that I wrote that down, or mentally I thought I wrote that down over here, but
Mentally,
I didn't.
I wrote that down, but I have none.
You know how it is, Scotty. I always have to forget at least
Dude, I
one.
know exactly what you're talking about.
Completely offend the fuck out of our Patreon subscribers every week. Sometimes multiple times a week.
Sometimes
too.
right in front of them, they're sitting right here.
Seriously, man. The homie Will was over there, like, looking at me like, come on, bro.
And I'm sitting here pointing at him.
I know. Marijuana affects short-term
love that,
memory.
though. Mm-hmm.
All right, buddy, you want to take a quick break?
Hey, man, let's do that real quick. All right. Like we were saying before we head to break, head on over to patreon.com. We can get some stylish headsets like you're seeing here, so we can go out and about and do a few things.
Do some episodes remotely.
We're wanting to do some shit, man.
Yeah,
we
we're
need
thinking
your help.
We're trying to figure out where we want to do the next one at, because we've hit Last Flight a couple times.
Yep.
Love those guys. Always have a good time when
Need
we're
to
there.
spread the wealth out a little bit.
But yeah, man, if you're listening right now and you could think of, if you have any ideas of like where would be a fun place for us to do a remote show, hit us up, man.
Yeah, man. Hit us up. You can email us where, Dave?
At the old77podcast@gmail.com. And also you can call the listener line, 573-246-0779.
Back after this.
Bitches.
In the Groove Vinyl Records and More has the widest variety of new and used music, carrying new and reissued vinyl, used CDs and cassette tapes. In business for over 20 years, offering the best variety and service we possibly can. In the year 2000, we started out as a little hole in the wall, and now In the Groove is a full-service record shop with thousands of records to choose from. Buying rock, jazz, R&B, soul, and blues records, 33s, 45s, and 78s. We also buy CDs and cassette tapes. We've been buying and selling since 2000. In the Groove is a one-stop shop for records, stereo equipment, CDs, and other fun oddities. 708 Jefferson Street, Jefferson City, Missouri. Give us a thumbs up and follow us on Facebook. In the Groove, vinyl records and more.
Welcome back to the old 77.
It's a safe place.
In an unsafe world.
Kapow!
Yeah.
Pow! Remember the old, the OG Batman
the
episodes?
OG Batman. Zappity pow.
With Adam West, the mayor of Quahog.
Yep. Quahog.
It's pronounced Quahog.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like it should be pronounced Quahog, but yeah. It's Quahog, bitch. It's in Rhode Island, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, it was supposed to be in Rhode Island.
Yeah. So, Scotty, we were talking.
Yeah, man. What were we talking?
We don't know. We talk about a lot of stuff.
We
dude.
do. Hey, actually, now's a great time to do it. Let's
do
get
it.
serious for a minute.
God.
I want to talk about a friend, a radio guy that
that's right.
that I grew up with listening, man. I listened to the St. Louis radio stations, the Market, and I always listen to The Point. I always listen to
105.7, right?
105.7 The Point.
Yep.
And they always had a dude on there. He did the morning show. It was Jeff Burton.
Yep.
Right?
He's
Jeff,
a legend.
Yeah, oh, God, dude.
Yeah, he's legendary.
Yes. Synonymous. I mean, he was the first morning show, in my opinion, in St. Louis that I actually gave a damn about.
Yep.
You know, he did. It was Jeff, Tom, Jeff, and Trish.
Dude's been going at it for
Yeah,
how many years?
He's
has
had a solid I mean, he's
20,
I think 5 or 6 years older than me. Been in the
Yeah.
business a good
25 years
good,
or so.
yeah,
at
a good
least.
5 to 10 years longer than I
Yeah,
have.
man.
You know.
Yeah, I was sad to hear about that.
He, I think it was March 2021, said he had prostate cancer, and then May or maybe March of this year, Missouri had just allowed some new treatment for cancer patients. And he was checking to see if it was
If he was eligible
if he
for
was
it.
eligible for it. And they
Yeah.
had to do a scan.
It's like a trial.
Because he did a video and he came out and said that the good news is yeah, I'm eligible for it, but the bad news is the scan revealed that I have like the cancer's everywhere. It was in his liver, his brain, his upper skeletal area. They said and he's on the morning show now, the Rizzuto show down on the Point.
Yeah.
And they had this on Monday.
I'll give you a Jeff Burton update, and I'm gonna do that for you right now.
So that's that down here in the corner here. This would be they have a thing for
I
Jeff.
knew this was gonna be tough.
Yeah. They're all getting emotional already.
Yeah.
We all miss Jeff. Jeff hasn't been on with us.
Our boy Patrico here, he
The
just
last
got
time he
done
was
with
on the air
cancer
us
too.
Was last Friday, right? He was on.
A week ago Friday.
Yeah.
And
he was with us for most of the show, I think, that day.
Yeah, he was in and out.
Mm-hmm.
I know he was on the air with us. He texted me a couple times like, "Hey, turn me down. I got to run to the bathroom, whatever." So he hasn't been in studio for
over a month.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
And man, just the outpouring of people asking, "Hey, how's Jeff? How's Jeff?" That's the number one question.
Right.
Without a doubt, that I know we all get.
Wherever we go, emails, social media, no matter where it is, that's like the number one thing we get asked.
Right.
And it's, the answer usually is, Jeff's hanging in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jeff's got his good days and his bad days.
And this made me so
he hasn't
sad.
been doing great the past couple of days. He hasn't been doing great the past week.
Yeah.
And I was kind of waiting on word from his wife Julie as to what
Look at him.
to say when somebody asks how Jeff is feeling. What do you say? Again, hanging in there.
Yeah.
I mean, what else do you say though, right?
Right, man.
Peace and prayers.
And I'm not a praying guy, but I've been praying for Jeff every day, and I've been hoping for a miracle.
I've been doing the same, man.
Yeah.
Basically, what they revealed was that over the weekend he went in, he had tests and things, his levels. Like for every point he would go up, he would lose another, two.
Yeah.
Basically, treatment's not working anymore. The cancer's winning.
Yeah.
So they took him off of treatment and have put him on hospice.
Yeah.
So.
How old of a guy is he, Scott? Do you know?
He's just a couple years older than me. I think he
Yeah.
may be in his 50s, maybe early 50s.
Yeah. Too young to.
Too young for that.
Yeah, man.
Too young for that.
Cancer sucks, man.
Yeah.
Cancer sucks. My best buddy growing up, Luke, he came down with colon cancer like in his late 20s.
Yeah.
And him and I were best friends for many years, and then we kind of grew apart. Not because anything bad happened or anything, but you know how it is over time. You friends that you have, some of them you grow closer with, some of them you grow apart from, and that's kind of what happened between me and Luke. And then I found out that he had colon cancer, and his mom was raising money, doing like a what do you call it? Like an auction, to raise money and
Like a silent auction or
silent
something.
auction, yeah. And I had all these because I don't know if you know, like I used to collect bobbleheads. I used to collect Cardinals bobbleheads, and so when I found out that Luke had cancer, that was I donated some bobbleheads to the silent auction, and luckily, dude, Luke's doing great, man. Like
still around, good.
He's still around, man.
Good.
Like it very easily could have been a death sentence for him.
Right.
But he's still around, man, and he's doing good. But fuck, man, like I've been very lucky in the fact that like nobody that I'm very close with has come down with cancer.
I've had a few people,
and I know it's just a matter of time.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
it's too common.
Well, the screenshot right there, that says it all.
Absolutely, man. The look on those guys'
Yeah.
faces, like yeah.
But I love the fact though that even though he's not in the studio, they've still got the little life-size cutout of Jeff there.
Right.
Right in
Right.
front of the microphone, smiling. He was doing a thing. I think it was the last couple months. You donate so much money to the morning show, and he would wear a different hat for a charity.
Mm.
So even even in sickness, he was still raising money.
Absolutely.
You know. So literally a true pioneer, Jeff Burton.
Yeah. For anybody that you know
Right
is from around here or from the St. Louis area.
Yeah, man, I grew up listening to that dude. Like, and he was my age. That's just it.
Yeah. Yeah, when it starts happening to people that it's like, fuck, man. You know?
And the dude, he did a morning show with Tom. I can't remember his name. I remember when Jeff and Tom got fired from The Point several years ago, like early 2000s. They let him go. They came down here somewhere to a studio in the Ozarks.
Yeah.
And they started doing a podcast. And it got pretty big until they one of them had a heart attack. I think Tom had a heart attack, and Jeff came back to radio.
Yeah.
Jeff survived by his wife, two or three daughters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. And they're young too. I think 16 to 12.
Man, that's like your worst nightmare. I mean, the only thing worse than that is if your kid gets sick and dies.
Oh my God, that would be horrible.
But other than that, man, like fuck, I can't imagine.
I don't know if I could.
I can't imagine knowing that that I might not make it much longer, and just not being able to be there for my kid, for all my kids' milestones, graduations and weddings and everything else, man. It's what can you say, man?
We're all ticking,
Absolutely.
It's just how you choose, I think, to spend that time.
We're all dying,
And if anything, the pandemic taught me was that working isn't really
It's
how
not
I
the
want to
most-
choose to
Yeah.
spend my time.
It's not the most
Yeah, I
important
need
thing.
it for money, but man,
But it's not your number one.
I don't want to be there for
priority.
like 8-9 hours a day.
Yeah. And
I don't give a fuck if somebody's whatever kicks off or punches off or does whatever, on time. If I'm not happy, it's,
Yeah. What's it for?
Exactly.
Yeah, life's
and
too short,
especially
man.
going and spending 12 to 15 hours a day or 8 hours a day with people, for however many long hours a week
Yeah.
and all that. You spend more time with your coworkers than you do your family.
Absolutely. Because
It gets old.
most of the time that you are at home on the weekdays, you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Right?
Sleeping, hanging out.
Yeah.
Relaxing, trying to calm my mind because I have a creative brain. If
Me
it's
too.
not, it's kind of like Sherlock Holmes. If it's
Yeah.
not focused on something, it goes fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm smart like Holmes. No, but like how Holmes between cases would go crazy.
Yeah.
Like not just nuts, he'd go fucking crazy.
Yeah, no, dude, I can totally relate to that because my mind, as bubbly of a dude as most people think that I am, I have a mind that can go from great to fucking damn near suicidal in the flip of a switch, man. Like I will go from like thinking everything's great to like, fuck, man, maybe I should just kill myself. Literally.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to scare you guys.
Well,
I'm not actually contemplating suicide, but
I know.
But I have
every
one of those
us have
minds.
had those thoughts like, oh, if I just killed myself, it'd be fun, whatever.
Yeah, you fuck something up.
Yeah.
Even
We're not saying,
even if it's a little thing. Like,
Yeah.
I was telling you the other day about when we went rock climbing and the canoe tipped over and all of our shit came out. My
Everything.
wife lost her phone. Like, I remember on the canoe ride back.
I'm amazed she just didn't like deep dive down.
Yeah.
Straight to get it.
It was weird, man. Like there was like the shoreline where the water was shallow, and then just all of a sudden it went from shallow to like so fucking deep you can't touch your feet on the bottom,
shit.
and so we knew there was not much hope that we would find it. But yeah, man, like
somewhere a carp.
The canoe ride back,
making long distance calls.
Right. The canoe ride back from that, I felt bad. I felt very bad about my wife's phone being lost, and like my mind immediately goes into fucking dark places, darker places than it should go into,
Yeah.
And I think most of us creative types are like that.
Yes, and I also find it's a side effect of the medical card. Because if you go too heavy on that, for me, I can get real dark real quick.
Like if you smoke too much?
Right. I've learned to balance it now.
Yeah.
But man, in the past, I'd be like, I just want to fucking murder myself. Like, oh my God, what is wrong with me?
I have learned, because everybody that listens to this show knows that I'm a pot smoker. I've got my medical card, so it's all on the up and the up.
I have my medical card as well.
It's all on the up and up. Y'all can't arrest me. But yeah, no, like I was telling my wife the other night that I have learned that if I am in a very negative mindset for whatever reason, usually it's not a good idea for me to smoke weed.
Yeah, I get that.
In that mindset, because I think generally the thing with weed is that it just generally tends to just enhance how you already feel. So if you're in a good mood,
or mad,
you're going to be in a great mood. But if you're in a depressed mood,
I get
you're
that.
going to get all up in your thoughts.
Oh, and that can easily happen. I mean, overthinking.
Yes.
I have
I mean, because people like you and me, we overthink anyway.
Oh my God, to the 10th degree.
Without weed.
And then afterwards, I overthink it.
Sure. You
Right?
overthink, you're overthinking.
Yeah, I have this sign up in my office at work. Hold on a minute, let me overthink it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that meme,
It is
man.
so accurate, let me tell you.
I've seen that meme, man.
Oh.
It's true. But no, man.
No, that's 100% right.
Yeah, but back to what we were talking about, man.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about our guy at the Point.
Yeah, Jeff Burton.
Jeff, yeah, man. I mean, what can you say, man? You could tell.
Well, a true legend. We're losing a true legend.
Yeah.
He's not gone yet.
We were talking about, I think we were off the air when we were talking about how he's been at like every Point Fest.
Yeah, dude was at
since
every
the dawn
Point
of time.
Fest. He was at every station event. I got to know him through radio and working where I'm at now.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever get to meet him?
I've never met him,
Yeah.
but we've been correspondent friends. I'm friends with him on Facebook. I've chatted with him on Facebook. He was big into, a couple months ago, he was big into outdoors. He was doing a lot of outdoorsy stuff before his latest diagnosis.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I mean, he's a great dude. Like a genuinely great human being.
Yeah.
Most radio people that I know aren't exactly genuine.
Great humans.
Well, I mean, some are, some aren't.
Yeah.
You know, we work with salesmen in
Sure.
radio, so
Yeah,
I've never met a really great salesman who was good at selling, like a genuine
but that
human.
was also a good human at the same time.
Like,
Yeah,
I've
I can
never
relate
met
to
that guy.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
And I'm not saying anything to the contrary about salesmen, because I love you, because
I'm sure
without salesmen, I can't be creative.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are many, many great salesmen who are also great human beings, but
I've yet to find one.
I learned from working in sales. It's kind of like being a lawyer. Like it's one of those jobs where you
can't have a conscience.
Yeah, you can't have a soul.
Yeah,
because I mean,
or you just don't mind other people.
You have to go in and do your job, and if your job is going in and defending somebody that you
willfully know.
killed somebody,
Right.
like you have to be able to.
I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, I don't know that
I
I
don't
could
know if I
either.
could do
man. Yeah, but I know, like, fuck, I can't do sales. I definitely know that.
See, that's my problem. I feel like I can do sales, but I don't want to, because I don't want to be that person.
Right.
Right?
Well, I'm a good talker, but I cannot, like, if I don't genuinely believe in something, I am not going to go out of my way to convince you that you should believe.
For me, though, that's only half the battle.
What do you mean?
I've got to have that I've got to be able to believe in it. I've got to be able to trust in it.
Yeah.
And I've got to be able to see a future in it. If I don't have any of that,
it's hard to sell it.
I can't.
Yeah, it's hard to sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to have, I mean, I can sell the shit out of things that I genuinely am passionate about.
Right, right.
But if it's something that I'm not into,
yeah, I'm with you there, man.
It's not happening, man.
I'm with you there.
So, hey, we were talking off the air about all of this weird shit that has been popping up in Lake Mead.
Lake Mead. Let's go to your screen, Dave.
So, for those of you that don't know, Lake Mead is...
It's in Nevada.
It's in Nevada. It's right by Area 51, of course, where all the alien bodies are being held. So
yes. That's exactly 100% right.
100%. Hold on, let me hit the button here. Oh, damn, you got me muted. Hold on.
I got you, bro.
There we go.
I got you, bro.
So, yeah, if you've been under a rock for the past, I don't know, decade... They're going through a horrible drought in the western part of the United States.
Seems that way, doesn't it?
Yeah. And so Lake Mead, which I believe is a man-made lake.
Yeah, I think it's one of those they've dammed
like
up.
a dam, yeah. But it has been, the levels have been, steadily declining for many years now. Yeah. So
not that great.
So as a result, people are finding all kinds of shit at the bottom of the lake that has now emerged.
When Dave says shit, he's not kidding.
Yeah, I mean, if you look on your screen right now, this is a World War II surplus vessel.
See? Shit.
That was put into service at the lake before it sank. But not only that, folks, they're
what did they put it into service for?
I don't know if it was like a training exercise.
I was wondering, are they lobbing shit at it?
I mean, I feel like if it was at Lake Mead, it probably was some type of testing or training type
That's what
thing.
I was thinking too.
But it's not just
sunken on purpose, probably. Yeah.
But it's not just like World War II vessels. It's fucking human bodies that they are pulling out of Lake Mead now. And of course, Area 51 is of course very close to Las Vegas, which of course was run by the mob for a very long time. And so
a lake is really just a big hole in the desert.
One has to think that some of these bodies might be a result of some of that mob activity.
I'm curious because it's so close to Area 51 and all of that.
Right.
When they do find a body, who do they call?
Yeah, I mean, because most of these bodies, I'm sure, have been in there for so long. I mean, it was before DNA was a thing that we could...
Well, what does this say here? Water levels?
Yeah.
What'd you pull up there?
So, more human remains discovered at Lake Mead days after body is found in a barrel.
In a barrel?
Yeah.
Water levels at Lake Mead, the country's largest the country's largest reservoir, hit historic lows, reaching below the intake valve that began supplying customers in 1971.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, you can't even take any water in now.
A witness reported seeing human skeletal remains at Colville Bay within Lake Mead at 2 p.m. local time Saturday. This is an article from back in May.
Found a decomposed body in a metal barrel.
But yeah, they have found,
that
multiple...
sounds like the fucking mob, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Right? Doesn't that sound like the mob?
I've got Paramount Plus now, which is the only streaming service that has The Godfather that I am aware of, and so I went back and watched The Godfather 1 and 2 again the other night.
Netflix has Goodfellas.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, I've seen that. I mean, I've seen that. I've seen the movie, but I've seen that Netflix has it too. I need to go back and watch that, especially now that Ray Liotta has passed.
Oh, that's right. R.I.P. Ray.
Go ahead, Scotty. Tell us what's the first line from that movie.
Ever since I was a young kid, I wanted to be a gangster.
And that you were saying a week or two ago that's like like the greatest opening line from a movie.
That's a fantastic opening.
It's a great opening line.
Right? They're just driving.
And that's the difference between a movie like Goodfellas and a movie like The Godfather is that The Godfather slowly sucks you in.
Yeah.
Whereas
The Godfather's this big operatic piece.
It's this opus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas Goodfellas, definitely like the first time I watched it, it sucked me in immediately. Like I had to watch the Godfather movies multiple times before I really, had a full understanding of just what the fuck was going on and what this guy was doing and what that guy was doing. Because of course it's adapted from a book.
Right. Well, that whole opening scene, man, where they're just driving.
Yeah. Which one are we talking about?
So they're all
second one?
Yeah, no, Goodfellas.
Oh, Goodfellas.
When they're
gotcha.
driving along and you just you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is that? Did you hit something? I don't know. And you're like, oh, these guys hit poor deer or whatever.
Right.
Open up the trunk and there's a dude.
Yeah, dude.
Right? Bleeding. Oh, Tommy, don't. What the fuck? Pulls out a butcher knife and just starts stabbing him. Boom. Shoots him one. Ever since I was a kid, always wanted to be a gangster. Slams the trunk.
The other one from roughly that same time period that I love, of course, is Casino too, man.
Oh, God, I love Casino.
It's a great movie.
That is a great, great flick.
Yeah. Though, definitely.
Sharon Stone that woman is gorgeous and plays a fantastic crazy woman.
Yeah, you almost think she might know a little bit of something
just,
about it.
It's just like Mel Gibson.
Maybe
man.
they
He's
should
too good at crazy.
Maybe they should put Amber Heard in a in the next big mob movie.
God, but who's making big mob movies?
That's just what I was going to say, man. Like
we need a good Scorsese mob movie.
Well, there was the thing on Netflix that came out a few years ago. That was a mob movie. I think was Leo DiCaprio in that movie too. I want to say
maybe.
It was the one where they like aged.
The Departed.
Yeah, is that
No. Leo wasn't in that one.
Okay, there was one where
Leo was in The Departed, but you're talking about The Irishman.
Yes, The Irishman, where they like artificially aged De Niro or whatever the fuck it was.
No, I think they de-aged them
or de-aged him. Yeah.
Yeah, like De Niro's this old dude, and he's playing. He's supposed to be playing a kid,
right?
And Pesci's like, "Hey, kid, what's going on?
Did you watch that?
Yeah, I did. I watched it.
What did you think about the artificial de-aging?
Well, minus all of that, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
The story was good. I mean, the spirit was there.
Yeah.
The problem I had was like they would say something right, and it was supposed to be a younger actor, and say like De Niro or it doesn't matter. It was clearly an old man.
Yeah.
But they would say something, and the character had to get up and sprint away.
Right.
Like, oh, we got to go now. And these guys would be like, getting up, you know? And it's like, that's an old man.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. For whatever reason, like the whole de-aging thing, just like, I don't know, it just... Like, rubbed me the wrong way,
well, how do you
or
feel
like
about
I just like it wasn't that convincing.
How
to
do you
me.
feel about bringing characters back to life that have been dead since the 80s, like they did in Star Wars?
Yeah, Princess Leia,
but they also did it with
the Emperor.
Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah,
the character in Rogue One, the Grand Moff, the Grand Admiral. He was a character actor that died in like 81, 82.
Yeah.
And they used, I think it was Peter Cushing, and they used his face.
Yeah.
Mapped it, and they had an actor play the part.
Yeah.
And mimic it, and then they just mapped it over this dude's face.
Right. You know, I still feel like we're not quite there with that technology yet. Like
we're getting there though.
Yeah, we're getting close. Like the scene, is it the end of The Mandalorian, or was it? Yeah, it was the end of The Mandalorian where they brought Princess Leia back, right?
No, they brought Luke. Mandalorian, they brought Luke back.
Okay, was it the last Star Wars movie where they brought Princess Leia back graphically?
Yeah, that would have been Rogue One.
No, it was after Rogue One, because she died way after Rogue One, didn't she?
Oh, are you talking like... So they brought back a de-aged Leia, a young Leia, in Rogue One.
Okay.
It was clearly another actor. They brought...
And Rogue One came out after she died.
I don't think she had any part in it. I don't remember. I don't think so.
I could have sworn they brought her...
But she died before the was it the Legend of Skywalker or whatever, the Rise of Skywalker.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Like, right, because it was like pretty much at the very end of the movie.
Because they used her daughter filmed. She had not filmed any of it. They used throwaway clips from the first movie that they made and the second one. They used cut scenes from that and spliced them in, and then they had her daughter like do some passing scenes at the end. I think where she was laying there, they had her daughter laying on for the body, and then they mapped her face on it.
So it was like a graphical representation of Princess Leia, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That to me, I don't know.
I thought that was done well, though.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
If they just use cutscenes that we've never seen before.
It felt a little fake to me.
But you actually have the actor there. And then they had one where I think she died.
Yeah.
Like it was all shot in the dark, and she just, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Type thing.
I started watching Obi-Wan Kenobi.
What do you think of that?
I've only watched like the first episode.
I thought that was very well done.
We get to see some Darth Vader shit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to love that.
You get lots of cool Vader shit.
Okay,
in this one.
Once I get to that part, because, like, you know me, man, like, I like Star Wars, but I'm not, like, fucking obsessed with it like some people are.
I've become.
But I mean, to me, you know, growing up as a kid, Darth Vader was always the coolest part about Star Wars. So,
right.
So
then you'll like this, because in Kenobi, this is the most savage Vader we've ever seen.
Cool.
I mean, it's fucking brutal in a couple scenes. You're like, oh, I had to turn away on one.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
We were talking several episodes ago. It may have been the episode with our buddy Jet.
Yeah.
That they need to just do a whole, series
on
Darth.
Vader?
Yeah, on Darth. Like that would be the one that would get, like casual fans like me that would suck us in.
Yeah.
That would suck us in.
So Darth is like a prefix for all Sith. So his name is Vader, but he's a Darth. So Darth Vader, right?
I see.
But at the end, and even in the first one, that Obi-Wan calls him Darth, because it just shows that Obi-Wan is okay. Well, Vader is you now. You're a Sith. You're just another Darth.
Okay. All right.
That's what that's all about.
I see. God, man.
There's so many little things, and this show actually tied that whole together.
Did you watch all the Game of Thrones stuff?
No, I didn't watch any of that.
You never did? Okay.
No, I didn't have HBO at the time.
Because I know there's a new Game of Thrones series that's getting ready to come out that's all based on Jon Snow.
Yeah.
So.
The North Watch or something.
I don't know, man.
Well, there's on Hulu, I want to watch Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah.
New season of that came out.
Yeah.
I just finished The Umbrella Academy. That was great. season 3, I think.
You know what I finally got around to watching like 3 nights ago?
What's that?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I've not seen that one either.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No.
So there's a scene in there with Bruce Lee. There's a couple scenes with Bruce Lee.
I've seen those.
Have you?
Yeah.
So
where gets his ass whipped and Bruce Lee's kind of an ass.
He gets his ass whipped by Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
So one of my best friends, Mark Lieberman, he's a musician. We like had a dinner date with him and his wife, like not that like that movie was still in theaters.
Right.
And he was talking about the Bruce Lee movie, and I was telling him, that I was a huge fan of Bruce Lee growing up as a kid. And he was very interested in what I would think about the Bruce Lee scenes. And so, I finally got around to actually watching it a few nights ago. And so
it's ridiculous from what I've seen.
There's a part in the film where they ask Bruce Lee what would happen if you fought Cassius Clay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to pull up my message to my buddy Mark because I need to get the quote right here. So he says, so when they asked Bruce Lee in the movie what would happen if he fought Cassius Clay, his response was, and I quote, "I would make him a cripple."
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
So this
I'd make him a quipple.
Yes. So this is what I told my buddy Mark, and this is true. I remember reading a book about Bruce Lee when I was a kid and them mentioning that he had a huge admiration for Muhammad Ali. And I also remember him saying that if they ever did fight, that, quote, he would kill me. So Bruce knew that Muhammad Ali would whoop his ass. But of course, Quentin took liberty with that.
Oh, of course.
But my response to my buddy Mark was that, yeah, I mean, it clearly was an exaggeration, but that's kind of Quentin Tarantino's thing, right? Like every one of his movies is like, much more bloody than would like it. I'm sure. I'm sure.
Probably.
It's pretty funny. I like
the whole Manson fight scene at the end.
Yeah, and it all ties in with Sharon Tate and all of that stuff. Yeah, man.
Sharon Tate,
who is played by the chick who is in the Suicide Squad.
Is it Margot Robbie?
Is that the blonde chick?
Yeah.
Yeah, her. She's the one that plays Sharon Tate in that movie.
Yeah. The dude who plays Bruce Lee, though, he looks pretty close.
I don't think...
I got him pulled up there.
I don't necessarily...
While watching the scene. I don't have any audio.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We don't want to get...
don't want to get that ding.
But yeah, no, I feel like... I don't necessarily think that he looks that much like Bruce Lee, but his manner, he's
got the mannerisms.
He killed
right?
the mannerisms.
Yeah, he's got the mannerisms.
Killed the mannerisms and like the tone of voice and just like the cadence of his voice. Yeah, no, they did great with that. Have you seen this scene before?
Yeah, I've seen this scene before. Where he's just sitting there, not saying a word.
Right.
Yeah, not buying any of it.
Just zoning out.
Yep. You're full of shit, guy.
Yeah, dude, that was another. I mean, that's just another. Banjo player.
He's a great banjo player. He's a good writer.
Yeah.
And
the thing on Netflix,
really looked
right?
old. Yeah.
That had like Chris Rock and.
Yeah, it had Chris Rock. Jeff Ross. John Mayer.
Yeah, John Mayer, because of course John Mayer and Jeff Ross flew Bob Saget's body.
John Mayer paid to fly. He flew Bob Saget's body back to the family.
Yes.
And then paid for funeral arrangements.
Right.
And then him and Jeff Ross drove and brought his car back from whatever
the airport
to his wife.
Yeah, and they live streamed it.
Yeah, and they
on
did
Instagram.
The whole thing.
I watched
the whole way to and from.
Yeah.
And they did nothing but tell Bob stories.
Yeah.
And that was what gave rise to the Comedy Store gave them the time.
Yeah.
They had a whole Jackson Brown sang.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
They did a whole they did this whole impromptu performance, John Mayer and Jackson Brown, and it was amazing.
And then
the guys had never even played together.
And then at the very end of the show when they played My Dog My Dog Licked My Balls? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
My dog licked my balls. Yeah,
the Bob Saget song.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't remember what exactly the whole thing was.
I feel like I could do that. I feel like
have a dog lick your balls.
No, I feel like I could write songs about my dog licking my balls. I mean, I did write a song all about my kids keeping their hands down their pants.
That was the dopest song too.
Yeah, I just still need to get with our buddy Alex Brown.
He's gonna make a video.
We're gonna make a video for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
I think it'd be a great video.
Oh man, it was great.
Scotty, I have to pee, man.
Dude, hit us a bumper.
You know
over
what that
there,
means,
man.
right?
That means we're probably going to take a break.
We gonna take a break.
Hey, big ups to our Patreon patrons. Thanks, guys. You know who you are.
We love y'all.
We got you in the first segment.
We did.
The cool down segment is coming up next. We're going to talk about all sorts of weird shit.
We gonna get crazy.
We got some aliens and stuff.
Yes, we do. Of course, man.
Right?
We always have aliens.
That's what we do here at the old 77.
Every week, baby.
Let's take a break, Dave. You go
All
to
right.
the bathroom. I need another drink. We'll be back in a bit.
See you soon, bitches.
Hey guys, Scott here from the old 77. I just want to take a moment and tell you about Infinite Moment Photography. I was down at the Noreen Access a couple of months ago. I was shooting bottles for the Hot Wings Challenge. Went off without a hitch. Thank you. And a big thanks goes to this guy, Rob Schaefer from Infinite Moment Photography. Rob was down at the Noreen Access taking some pictures. He had his impressive equipment out, let me tell you. The guy's got this lens it's huge. You could zoom in on the Capitol. It's like spyware lens stuff. But he got some amazing photos. I saw some of the stuff he did that day. Walked up while I was taking photos of the bottles and said, hey man, I gotta know, what's this all about? So I told him about the Hot Wings Challenge. He said, hey, you mind if I take some? You know, I kind of do this. And I was like, yeah, that'd be great. They turned out amazing. Just look at this. So a big ups to Rob Schaefer from Infinite Moment Photography. He's out of Lynn, Missouri. Find him online at infinitemomentphotography.com. You can also go to Facebook at Infinite Moment Photography. You can see some of his work, send him a message. Family, wedding, newborn, nature photos, Rob does it all, and it's amazing. Check him out online at infinitemomentphotography.com and on Facebook at Infinite Moment Photography.
And welcome back to the old 77 podcast.
It's the safe place.
In the unsafe
world. Welcome to the cool down, my friend.
That was a bit of all right.
Yeah.
Sorry, hold on.
I know, we both.
Pulling it down with the old 77.
Dude, that bed is dope.
Shout out to Louis Amano. Should I turn this one green?
Yeah, man, green that one.
All right, I'm greening it up, buddy. This one is called 4 More Weeks in Japan.
4 more? I just need 4 more weeks in Japan.
It's probably not on Spotify, just so y'all know.
My best friend, Tim Mize, one of my best friends, his little brother just one day decided he's the most adventurous eater ever.
Yeah.
Just decided to go to Japan, man. And culinarily went through the country.
Wow.
Like, he sat down at this one place, and he's always told me this story that his brother just ate he was like, give me everything that no American will eat. And they were like, are you sure? And he's like, oh yeah. So they brought out like live octopus and all sorts of shit, taught him how to eat it. At the end of this meal, the chef looked at him and was like, I've never seen an American like you.
I love it. He was Andrew Zimmern.
He was.
Before Andrew Zimmern.
Right? He was. That was 2000 maybe?
Hey, Anthony Bourdain. You like him?
Oh yeah, I loved Anthony Bourdain. I bet that guy was an absolute Nazi in the kitchen.
There's a new doc about him on HBO, I think it is.
Yeah.
You guys don't do HBO, do you?
I don't have HBO.
Yeah, fuck, I wish you could see that.
My girl has HBO. I maybe bump her.
Yeah.
I can probably get hers.
Get the log in.
Yeah, get the log in.
I think you've earned it at this point, man.
I hope so.
I feel like you have.
I hope so.
Joe Rogan talks about him a lot. Like him and Bourdain were buddies, and that was one. Like I remember listening to Rogan's first episode after Bourdain.
Yeah, he was emotional.
He was having a hard time with it, man. And man, Bourdain is.
Did we ever know why he killed himself?
Well,
was he sick?
We knew that I don't think he was sick or anything.
He had mental illness. I knew that, and depression.
Well, that's the thing. He also had a history of drug abuse. And so, that's a deadly combination, man.
Yeah, that is a 1-2 punch right there.
But I put a guy like Bourdain into the same category as like an artist or a musician. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Like if you listen to his shows, Parts Unknown, and then he what was the other one? I can't remember, but he wrote those shows.
Destination Unknown.
Yeah. And those shows were less about food and more about
connecting.
It was connecting with other people.
Yeah, sit down at their table.
Right.
eat their food.
Right.
I remember that was his thing.
And that was what he was so great at was,
And talk.
The food stuff aside, he was
food was secondary.
He was great at connecting with people. I remember watching an episode that he did like from Alaska or somewhere in that area with the Inuit. And they would kill like sea lions.
Oh yeah.
And eat them raw. And there's an episode of him, in these people's kitchen, cutting open a fucking sea lion.
That's what I loved about
raw.
Anthony Bourdain, man.
Yeah.
There was a whole episode where he talked about you as the person, as the traveler, going to these countries and people giving you this food.
Right.
And it's all the food that they have.
Yeah.
But you, for some reason, disrespect them, or it's meat, perhaps.
Sure.
Oh, I don't eat meat. You don't eat meat. What are you talking about? That's what these people sustain their life on.
Yeah. How could you not eat it?
How do you disrespect them like that?
Right.
That's what I always enjoyed about him. He was like, you never, in my kitchen, you would never do that.
Well, even in America, man, it's in most circles, it's considered disrespectful if you go to somebody's house and they make you a meal and you don't.
You're like, oh, sorry, I don't.
You don't eat
that.
it all. Yeah, man. That was a tough one for me with cyclic vomiting syndrome, with my condition, because I've never been the type of person.
I bet it was.
Yeah, I've never been the type of person that eats a whole lot at once.
Yeah.
And so I was already like that pre all of that shit, but yeah, man, like still to this day I have a hard time like in restaurants, like going out to eat at a restaurant still is hard for me.
Why?
Because of all the trauma that I endured for so long of not being able to eat like a normal person. And, and when I would go to restaurants with people, because of course, whether you want to or not, eventually you're going to be put into a situation where you're going to have to go out to eat with other people.
Oh, absolutely.
And when you're in that situation,
especially here, in this area,
And so when you're in that situation and you can barely eat at all, and people look at you like,
I'll
what
give you
the
that
fuck
one.
is wrong with
I'll
you?
give you that one.
Like that's traumatic.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I couldn't understand that though. Like for me as a person, that just doesn't make sense.
Oh, to 99% of people on planet Earth, that doesn't make sense.
But yeah, I get that. Okay, you go there and you want to eat, but you can't eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I get that.
Yeah, it sucks, man. Fucking sucks. But guess what?
What?
I can eat now all I want.
I was gonna say, so if we go out to like, I don't know, the Roadhouse or something up the road,
I'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take. I'll
so when's the last time you had a serious attack?
Dude, it's been like more than a year.
See, I remember here a while back, we were doing the podcast.
Yeah.
And Dave had to call up and was like, guys, can't do it tonight.
Yeah.
I got this. My CVS is kicking in.
That was probably about a year ago, I would say. Yeah.
That was the last time I've ever heard you say it.
Yeah, man. It's actually like it continues to get better for me. Like,
good.
Even after I started taking the medication that helped me so much, I still would have like little isolated like mini episodes every, several weeks. But dude, I haven't had to take what we call our abort medications.
Yeah.
The stuff that you take to try to abort an episode before it starts.
I remember you telling me about those.
Yeah, I haven't had to take any of those meds, and like last time I went and saw my doctor, she looked it up for me, and the last time I had to do that was close to a year ago, I think.
That's nice.
Yeah, so it's been good. I have not even had like little mini episodes.
That's even better, man.
Yeah, man, it's been good. So
and
I'm taking a smaller amount of the medication that I take.
I was gonna say, don't you have a nice little cocktail of?
I just take one medication, dude.
One, really?
I take one medication now. There's some supplements that people often take.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, but honestly, man, like with the supplements, I didn't notice a huge difference. But with the one prescription med that I take, like that flipped me around really quick. So
that's good.
So for me, I'm just trying to take like the smallest amount of that medication that I have to be successful.
Do you take it daily?
I take it every night before bed.
Every night before bed.
Yeah. But fuck, man, taking that once a day at bed, sure as fuck beats having to take like 3 or 4 other medications.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's all relative, man. But I'm in a good place.
I like to I like to keep myself where I don't require medication.
Yeah,
I should probably not. I probably need all sorts of fucking medication because I'm crazy. But
as a general rule, man, take the least amount of medications as you possibly can.
I don't even like to take ibuprofen or
we've talked about
aspirin.
that. Yeah, we've talked about that. Your body doesn't tend to agree with that kind of thing, man.
No.
Yeah, so
aspirin
often,
I can take. Yeah. Ibuprofen not so much.
Yeah, so often, especially in America, we resort to taking medications as like a first resort.
No, that's where we go to. That's our go-to.
Yeah, whereas it should, realistically, it should be a last resort. Like there are so many other things that you can do
100%. Yes.
Other than taking medications. And a lot of times it just comes down to like, eating the right way, exercising.
But see, that's work.
It is work, dude. Trust me.
I don't want to do all that. That's work.
I know.
I know. I'm just saying, as Americans, we don't want to do that. That's work.
That's our attitude.
Yeah.
There's a kind of sort of cheesy quote, but it's kind of true that in America we don't have a healthcare system. We have a sick care system.
Yeah.
And that's true.
No, that seems about right.
It's definitely true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cooling it down on the old 77.
So I was going through, and I just started randomly. I got this new piece of equipment over here.
Yeah, tell us.
We got a new Stream Deck over here.
Yeah,
it's
you
the
got
bigger one. The
86
1, 2,
buttons
3,
on that
4,
bitch.
5, 6. I got the 15 buttoner. You got the what?
6.
So from 6 to 15.
Yeah.
So I got, all the typicals,
Yeah.
It is time.
It's time for cool down.
Cooling it down.
Yeah, baby.
But then I was looking over here. Oh, hey, what's going on over there, Dave? I just want to walk behind people and do this.
Absolutely. Just walk around and be the theme song for somebody.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh, my favorite, Annetta the Mood Setter.
I quit this bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that one.
Baby.
That's my hero.
Hey, Scotty, I recently read an article from your stomping grounds, bro.
My stomping grounds?
Yeah, loose pig. It's about a loose pig.
A loose.
Don't you hate it when that happens? You get a loose pig.
What? I don't know how to respond here. Where is this loose pig visits Illinois High School?
Well, he was
in Mount Vernon.
He was in an Illinois high school, man. So a loose pig has taken up residence on campus and has thus far managed to evade all attempts at capture. Mount Vernon Township High School in Jefferson County. Is this anywhere close to where you grew up?
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay. Well, I tried.
Maybe about 2 hours south.
I tried, man. I tried. Yeah, so that's it. There was a fucking pig. What else do you want me to say, man?
So during my early radio career,
I
was working at a station near Litchfield, Illinois. It was in between Litchfield and Hillsboro on Route 16.
Of course.
Brilliantly put there. But a nearby town was doing like a summer thing, like a July 4th celebration, fireworks, carnival, everything, homecoming.
Right.
And we had a big sponsor, and he wanted to come on the air, and I let him. And personally thank a couple of dudes because they had Bossy Bingo that day, and Bossy got out. You familiar with Bossy Bingo?
No, I guess not.
So what they do is they put a grid down on the floor of the pen, and they throw a cow out there, and whatever square Bossy shits on,
you get to fill that.
That's the one that you play bingo by Bossy. Well, Bossy got out, and a couple of these boys had roped her. They rode her down and roped her on Main Street.
Nice.
So I had to come on the air. Hey, this cat wants to thank these boys. Here he is.
Yeah.
Hey there, fellas. Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
I can remember a couple occasions in which people that live near me, their cattle have gotten loose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as a kid on a cow farm, I can remember several times waking up in the middle of the night, going out there and trying to get cows.
So what do you do when your cattle get loose? How do you get them back?
Well, you got to have at least a couple people. And if you can find them, you can kind of herd them. Cows are just herdable.
Yeah.
One person can walk up like this and herd cows.
And they'll go,
and they'll go in a direction,
Okay, so it's not that
So it was
hard.
like me and my mom and my dad, and we had a couple neighbors that would come over if it got bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for the most part,
Yeah.
it wasn't too bad.
Farming is a tough fucking job, man.
It's persistence. You're out in the shit all the time.
Yeah, and
literally,
especially I was actually
depending on what farm you are, because you can be a grower.
Yeah,
you can be someone in agriculture.
Yeah, I was thinking about this today as I was driving along Highway 94, which is the road that I take to get home most of the time. And
right.
A
lot of agriculture along that road.
On the right side of Highway 94, the whole way before you turn off to get to where you turn off to go to my house, it's all farmland.
Yep.
And
pumpkins for a good chunk of it.
And I was just thinking about how, a year or two ago, all of that shit was underwater. It all got flooded. So these poor people that depend on that land just lost everything.
That year, though.
That year. And
the next year, I guarantee it came back twice as hard.
Probably. I'll tell you this much,
That's
man.
the trade-off.
The stuff that's growing, I don't even know what the fuck they're growing over there, but whatever it is, it looks good and healthy right now. Yeah.
That's the trade-off of that river bottom area, man.
Yeah.
You're going to flood. You're going to flood.
Yeah.
But when you do, all of your nutrients, generally in your topsoils and stuff, they all come back.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless, of course, it all gets washed down.
Right. I know that the flooding, because I'm a fan of hunting mushrooms, specifically morel mushrooms, which only come around once a year, usually in April.
Chicken of the
to
woods
May.
too?
Yeah, chicken of the woods is a good one too. Yeah. But like most of the people that end up finding, bagfuls of morels usually are looking in river bottom areas.
Well, isn't that where a majority of the mushrooms go towards the area's mushroom festival up at Fulton? Which I want to do something up there this year, man.
I know. We've been talking about that for a while.
Dude, I've been here for 8 years now. 7 years now.
Yeah.
And every year we've said, man,
yeah.
we should go up to that Morels and Brews Micro Festival thing up there.
I think the last 2 times that has happened, I've been in Colorado.
Yeah.
We have already started planning our trip to Colorado for next year, and I think it's in late March, which means that I will be back in Missouri by the time they do that festival next year.
Nice.
So let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen finally.
Absolutely, man.
8's the charm, bro.
Right, that's what they say, right? That's what they say.
8th time's the charm.
Hey, man, did you hear about this thing in California?
What we got?
These sea lions chasing after people, man.
Yeah.
Check this out. Hold on, let me blow it up so it's big.
You got
Here we go. Here we go.
So fun. Beachgoers had quite a square after getting a little too close to some sea lions at the La Jolla Cove. The video now, though, gone viral nationwide. A viewer who took this video Friday afternoon says that she started recording when she noticed a woman getting very close to
look at that,
sea
man.
lion for a picture. While she was taking those photos, the sea lion woke up and then started charging at her and several other people. Another smaller sea lion also decided to chase the crowd, even coming very close to a young girl. Luckily, though, nobody was hurt, and the sea lions did swim off into the water, though. The video has since had more than 7 million views.
Of course.
And million likes on TikTok.
You know what, man? I feel like
video.
people are getting stupider when it comes to sea, like to
Wildlife.
any kind of wildlife.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how many stories I'm reading out of Yellowstone where people are getting gored by bison.
And moose. Yeah. Yeah, they get too close,
The last one was like a 70-year-old grandparent.
Well, everybody
What the
wants.
fuck are you doing?
Everybody wants to get the money shot.
Gotta
man.
get that selfie, right?
You don't even need, bison or moose. Like people are dying just trying to take selfies at the top of the Grand Canyon and shit.
I was gonna say that there's people falling off cliffs and shit because of that.
Oh man,
what the hell?
We haven't.
What happened?
Have we even talked about my rock climbing thing on the air yet?
A little bit, but we
remember.
haven't said much about it. Other than your wife's phone is now at the bottom of the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, go ahead, man. I mean, do you want to talk about it?
Well, I mean, I climbed halfway up a cliff and I thought I was going to die, but I didn't die. And I never want to do it again.
Yeah, it was that fun, huh?
And all of the photographic evidence is at
the proof
bottom of Truman Lake, so I totally could be lying to you right now about this.
But you're not.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
No, the best part was Dave was like, so I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this rope and it could snap.
Yeah, literally. Like the whole time I'm looking at the rope and the little fucking hooks. Somebody took a fucking drill and drilled into the side of this fucking mountain.
They hammered them in.
No, they drill that shit.
Did they drill
Yeah,
them
they
in?
take drills because I was asking the guys about it.
Yeah, okay.
And Yeah, so, I'm dependent on some fucking, 19-year-old pothead that drilled a hole in the side of the fucking cliff.
Dude, if
I'm dependent on that fucking hook up there,
if
bro.
that 19-year-old pothead who's hanging off a mountain can do that, I don't know any potheads at 19 that could do that.
I get the impression that a lot of your rock climbing folks are pot smokers.
There's nothing wrong with that. We need to destigmatize
I'm
that
not
pot
gonna,
smokers
I'm not going to
are
mention names.
lazy.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to mention names or anything, but the guys that were with us the other day, they were definitely potheads, bro.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
They definitely were pot
Some of those are my favorite people.
The other quote-unquote sport that has a lot of pot smokers is Frisbee golf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. All those guys are all pot
smokers. Even in my profession, I feel like it's prevalent. It's prevalent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And,
for sure, yeah.
For creativity and creative folks and creative types, that's really a performance-enhancing drug.
Dude, if they ever gave us drug tests in our line of work, they'd have to fire every last
There'd be no one
left.
left.
They'd have to
And they
fire
won't.
all of us.
And they won't, because they're not stupid.
Yeah, and what fucking difference does it make, man?
Today, not much.
Come on, man.
In my opinion, today, not much. I mean, now it's just more open.
Yes.
Somebody the other day made mention, like, man, you guys, have those little itty-bitty dugouts. Why do you do that? Why don't you just carry blunts around and have big wraps and everything? And I'm like, well, back in my day, you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
You get arrested for shit like that.
Well,
Like I told you the other day, we didn't say it on the air, but I've now got my medical card, and I went up into the dispensary, and I'd gotten something that needed an accessory to use it.
Sure.
And I didn't have the extra cash because I'd grabbed it. It's all cash.
Right.
I'd grabbed cash out of the ATM, and I didn't have enough for it. And so I was talking to the dude, and he was like, "Oh, but you can use your points."
Yeah, right. I remember this story.
Like, points?
I have told this story to
I go,
to
dude,
friends.
I forgot about those. And he's like, you forgot about your points?
Yeah.
And I went, yeah, man, my other guy, he never had points.
Right, the last guy I used to get this from didn't have a
he
point
didn't have
system.
any point system or anything.
Yeah, I have shared that story with a few people since you told it to me.
I thought that was
it's great.
It was just funny.
It's great, man.
Yeah, man, my last guy, he didn't do points.
Times have changed, my friend.
100%, dude.
That's one of the only things in America that I feel has gotten better over time.
Yeah, it seems like times are crazy now. But
Yeah, they are. They sure are.
It seems like common sense is out the window at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
And it's not just local, it's worldwide.
I think it's the internet.
I don't know if it's the internet.
The internet has us all going fucking bonkers, man.
Only because we were doing some stupid TikTok challenge.
Right. There was a new one that I was reading about the other day. It was these people that are like releasing invasive species into different environments that they're not supposed to be in. Like there was like this thing on TikTok called like the Ladybug challenge. Let me see if I can
get
find
this shit
something
out
about
of
it.
here.
Yeah, no, man. Let me see if I can pull it up. TikTok. It's like TikTok challenge, like Ladybug challenge or some shit.
These fucking TikTok challenges, they got to go, man.
Yeah.
The commercial I saw the other day. We have Dish Network, and there was a commercial for TikTok. And it was like, hey, do you know the thing on the spice jar? You twist it, And
yeah.
So then, like later in the commercial, this dude be like, no, you twist it, and then he goes, TikTok taught me. And
I've seen that
And
commercial.
the hashtag was TikTok taught me.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here.
I don't know. I can't find it. But yeah, I was listening to a story the other day about, it's just like a thing on TikTok.
Yeah,
They're literally releasing invasive species into different
That's
environments
terrible.
as a challenge. Yeah. Okay, so I have one other good story that I gotta tell the people before we sign off.
Well,
man.
you should also tell the people about that those kids. We talked about this last week slightly.
What's
those
that?
South African kids that met the UFOs in the 90s, 93. Now as adults, they're telling their stories.
You're talking about Zimbabwe.
Yeah, didn't you send me that
aerial
link here a while
school.
back? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've sent you a couple things about that.
We should talk about that too. Because we were going to talk about UFO stuff.
There's a new documentary, I think, or they're like working on a documentary about that incident.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was this school in Zimbabwe called the Aerial School for Children, and basically like at least dozens, maybe hundreds of these school kids witnessed a UFO land and and saw beings come out of the craft. And when
Didn't they interact?
Yeah,
Yeah.
telepathically, which sounds crazy, but to anybody that has ever studied the UFO thing a lick, that's how they communicate, is telepathically. There's not words. There's not actual, physical words. And so this happened, like, I don't know, I want to say in like the early 90s. And they have recently interviewed a ton of the kids.
Yeah.
Again. And they all still stand by their stories.
Yeah, they're holding strong.
And there's pictures that they drew.
Yeah, I remember seeing those.
Yeah.
The one where they're all standing by the merry-go-round or whatever.
Yeah, I'll see if I can pull some up here. But yeah, they really need to do a documentary just on that.
I think that would be cool.
It would be great, man. And if it was, delivered in the right way. It happened in 1994.
I was thinking 93.
62 students at the aerial school aged between 6 and 12 claim they saw one or more silver craft descend from the sky and land on a field near their school. One or more creatures dressed all in black then approached the children and telepathically communicated to them a message with an environmental theme. In other words, they were telling them, yo, you're fucking destroying your planet. You need to not do that.
You need to stop doing this.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you're listening to me talk about this right now, Google it. This is a thing that happened, and I don't believe that 62 kids would simultaneously hallucinate the same thing, and neither do their teachers.
No, that was just the kids. Their teachers were there too. Administration staff was there. If I remember right, wasn't some dude just driving along?
One of my favorite UFO researchers, a guy named John Mack, who was a professor at Harvard University. He went to this school and interviewed a bunch of these kids, and he wrote books about it. And this is a guy that literally won a Pulitzer Prize, and he 100% believed that these kids were telling the truth.
Yeah, I think he's onto something too.
So yeah, that's the aerial school incident. We really need a good documentary about that, man. I think it's coming. Yeah, here it is about John Mack visited the school to interview witnesses. Yada, yada, yada. The issue was that Mack had communicated to these people that their experience may have been real. After 14 months, Harvard issued a statement stating that the dean had reaffirmed Dr. Mack's academic freedom to study what he wishes. They tried to get him fired, basically, for researching the UFO subject. And the other professor that they tried to get fired was Dr. David Jacobs from Temple University. He's been researching it for many, many years now. He's done regressive hypnosis on, he's done thousands of sessions with hundreds of different people that have had these experiences. I don't know, man. We're definitely in a weird time, and I do feel like in our lifetime we might get to the bottom of what the fuck is actually going on. But what I know is not going on is these people are not just making shit up. Whether or not it really happened to them, that's a question, but they definitely believe. Like, from their point of view, they are telling the truth about what has happened to them.
No, they are 100%. They believe.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So, what are you pulling up over there? You look like you're intensely typing some shit in.
I'm trying to find this. Here it is. If I can find it. Yeah, here we go. So you were talking about strange times, and that led me to this story I sent you. So we are we've got robots and AIs that they're now saying are sentient,
right?
And now we've also just recently gone to a new milestone. We have now successfully tested the first fully functional augmented reality contact lens.
Right.
What does that mean? That means if it'll stop doing this stupid shit here, that means if you put this contact lens in, you can see things like Iron Man.
Yeah, it projects things.
You'll have things in your field of vision.
Right.
You interact with it. Instead of you being in the virtual world, you wear the virtual world and you see it. You interact with it.
Yeah. Fucking crazy, bro.
Right?
Yeah.
You can go through doors that aren't even there.
So are you going to sign up for this?
That's scary, man.
Yeah.
To be honest. That technology freaks me out. But it's the future. So if I'm honest.
Yeah. Everything that we're doing today would have been scary to you 20 years ago, right?
That's a good point, man.
Yeah. But we slowly
unveil
our way into things.
We're getting good with technology now.
One of the things that Rogan talks about that freaks me out is that in our lifetimes, we basically are going to get to a point where communication is telepathic.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're all going to have these fucking Neuralink things implanted in our brains that are going to read our thoughts. And we are going to be able to communicate with each other without saying anything out loud.
Well,
which is kind of terrifying to me. Like, I don't want people to know what I'm thinking at all times. But that's what we're headed towards.
I don't think it'll be like that. I think you'll have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be more. Have you ever watched Ghost in the Shell?
No.
I highly recommend it. Man, hold on a minute.
Scott's got the coffees over there.
I do. Talking too much and not drinking enough.
Some moon rocks, bro.
Probably.
Yeah.
So this statement here on the screen, the future is AR. That is totally true. So what is augmented contact lens bullshit going to mean to you? Well, that means that you no longer have a Nintendo. You no longer have to worry about. Right now, you put gear on and you have to walk in place, kind of like Ready Player One.
Sure.
With this, you don't have to do that. You can just walk in the real world and you see everything out and about.
Yeah, so with AR, for people that don't know, the difference
Augmented
between
reality.
AR and VR is that VR puts you into a completely different world, whereas AR, you see the world around you, but there are things that are added to that world. Like maybe you see a fucking Triceratops in front of you.
Or you'll see a Pokemon.
Sure.
Right?
Right.
Or you'll have a little paperclip show up, or it'll start talking and say, hey, I got a message from Microsoft Office.
Yeah, you have mail.
You have mail.
Yeah.
Some
fucking asshole's going to come up to you and tell you that shit.
Or, even worse, because it's a contact lens and it's right on your eyeball, it'll scan your retina. That becomes your identifier, and then you walk into stores and that contact lens catches all of them. It's already got your profile on it, which shares it with all of those, and you get all these augmented reality ads that come in when you go into a mall.
Can't wait.
Hey, Dave, you remember that last pair of Calvin Kleins you had? They were so comfortable. You want to come back and get a new one?
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, over here at Sam Goody, you just downloaded this, and this. Would you like to get a new one? New from this guy's out.
Dude, I feel like that would drive me fucking crazy.
It will. It'll be terrible.
That's the thing, man. As cool as all of this technology is, it's made us less happy as a civilization, I feel like.
I don't know if it's made us less happy, but it has definitely shifted the priority of some people. You see those people on social media for 10 years now have done nothing but every week put up a new selfie. There's something wrong with those people, man. Back in the day, you wouldn't have taken a picture of yourself that much.
Right.
And then taken it to the local, 1 hour photo guy.
Right.
Me wouldn't do that.
It's not healthy, bro. It's not healthy.
Keeping up with the Joneses is not healthy.
No.
No. Being happy by association, that's not healthy.
I do have one other funny story that I want to share.
What you got over there?
With the people tonight. Pregnant woman ticketed in carpool lane says that her fetus should count as a passenger. Now,
So she wasn't alone in the car, is what she's saying.
I'm going to be honest. I have not even read this story yet. I'm going just purely on the headline, but here's what I think is going to happen.
Okay.
She is going to say that now, because abortion is illegal, that fetus should count as another person.
Let's see.
That's what I think. Let's see what we hear. So
I doubt it if she does that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No, I'm right. A pregnant woman ticketed for driving in a high-occupancy vehicle lane in Texas says her fetus should be counted as a second passenger, citing the recent Supreme Court ruling overturning Roe v. Wade. That was exactly her reason for doing it.
I heard a disturbing NPR story today. In the interview, they asked a Catholic diocese, they asked them, now that Roe v. Wade is overturned, what are you willing to do to provide food, shelter, and comfort for children who were going to be aborted and are now forced to be brought into this world? And they said nothing.
Of course.
We don't plan on doing anything.
They're
here.
We're pro-life, right, until the life comes out of the womb.
Right, they're here. We got them here. Get the out of here, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, on that note, Scotty, I think we should end the show.
Are we going to end it on that? We can't end it on that.
We should. Let's end it on a fucking depressing note
let's
tonight.
not end it on that. Let's end it on a happy ditty while we're thanking our Patreon patrons.
Let's think of one other of a good story, though.
You got another one?
I'm trying to think.
Let me see if I got something over here.
There's a lot of depressing shit going on in the world right now.
There's tons.
My kid's birthday is tomorrow. How about that?
Dude.
That's exciting.
That's an exciting. So what do you guys got planned?
Nothing. Nothing tomorrow.
You know, there's not necessarily anything wrong with that.
Mommy and Daddy have to work.
Amen, brother.
No, we are going to go up to St. Louis on Friday, and we are going to check out the City Museum.
Nice.
Which is
Have
awesome.
they ever been there?
They have not.
They'll enjoy it.
I have. It's great.
Yeah, it's a good time.
They're going to bring their little buddy Gage with them.
Nice.
Gage is a good friend of theirs.
Good friend of the show, Gage.
Gage, he's awesome. He's a good kid. And yeah, we might hit the zoo depending on how ungodly hot it is outside.
Yeah.
We might skip it because they've been to the zoo. They went to the zoo last year, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, happy birthday to my kids, man.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday.
6 years old, 1 minute apart.
That's exactly 1 minute?
1 minute apart. Yeah.
I know I've asked you this before, but do you know like the percentage that your boys are identical?
Yeah, I know you've asked me that before, and
it's pretty high. I mean, they look pretty damn close.
As far as I know, they have never given me that information.
No.
And because I have always thought either you have identical twins or you don't. But you are under the impression that no, there's like a percentage.
Yeah, I thought there was like a percentage, like they're X amount alike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? Like identical twins is when the
So you have paternal twins
when the sperm
you release
splits.
2 eggs and both eggs get fertilized.
Yeah.
Right? So you have 2 sacs, 2 different babies and 2 different baby sacs, right?
Right.
And then you have when 1 egg gets fertilized but
And
then
splits.
divides.
Yeah, that's identical, right?
That's identical.
Yeah. Okay. So I know that much.
Because they start off as 1.
Yeah. I should know more, considering that's what my kids are, but I'm busy, man.
Hey, man,
I got bills to pay, bro.
It's I know what you mean, man. I got you, bro.
Hey, thank you everybody for joining us tonight.
Hey, it was a good show tonight.
It's been a good one, my
Episode 113 in the books.
That's right. Join us for After Hours.
We're going to keep it going over at After Hours. We're going to talk some more UFO stuff.
That's right. So that would lead us into a great time to thank our Patreon subscribers because they have access to the After Hours, guy. Right?
Yes.
Biscuit Strength.
Biscuit Strength. WIZ and the fam over at Chess Team Records.
In the Groove Records.
In the Groove. Jamie and Ben.
Yeah, love those guys. Jeff City Paranormal.
Jeff City Paranormal.
JT.
And JT.
Paranormal Son.
Yes.
Thank God for iPads, Scott.
I thought you did that awfully well, man.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Better than I should have, right? Yep. True.
I never said that.
Marijuana affects short-term.
Do. So thanks for hanging out with us.
That's right, guys.
If you've got something that you want to talk about on the old 77, by all means, feel free to give us a call. Let us know what you want to talk about.
Hit us up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hit the listener line 573-246-0779.
We haven't done that in a while.
I know. Call us.
We're getting ready to redesign a studio. I think that's going to be awesome. Me and Dave were talking some plans here. I think it's sounding good at least.
It sounds exciting. I can't.
We're gonna
wait,
try
man.
something.
We're gonna try to give the old arts and crafts room back to Andrea.
Yes.
But, yeah.
Yes, we're gonna try.
Yeah. I think we can do it, buddy.
I think we can too, man. I think we can.
All right, folks. We love you. Thanks for listening. We'll
Peace
see you
out,
next
y'all.
week.
For a transcript of the Old 77 podcast, write down everything the boys say.